Hey everyone, Kim McCarthy with the Pipeline Strategies. And who? Dixie Blue, that's who. And what are we going to be talking about today? Well, we're actually going to be talking about the Department of Labor and Employment and how they can help you. Are you ready? Let's jump into the pipeline. Well, this is a highly requested video. So we're talking about what happens when, you've been violated, by your employer. And, there are different ways you can go in this violation, but what it's really about, it starts off with, is monies that you are owed from your employer or from your client. And of course, I'm giving you a nice overview. I highly recommend speaking with an attorney or contacting your Department of Labor and Employment for specific details for you, your situation, and your state. So what I'm talking about is a two-part process. The first part is a demand. And I think that most people, they totally bypass the Department of Labor and Employment and go straight to an attorney because that's really what we're taught. We're conditioned to do that. And a couple of issues happens when you just automatically turn to an attorney for help, assistance, support. And that is, truthfully, they have skin in the game. That's why they require money up front, a retainer. Because, first of all, you give them the information and you present it in a way for them for an attorney to agree and say, yes, I'm willing to get involved for this price. Well then, loosely, what happens is that you pay the retainer and then you pay additional monies for the attorney. And then there are court fees, court costs. There's a lot of money on the front end of all this. And then, and this is very disheartening to find out, after going through all of that, then all a business owner has to do, a franchise owner, a small business owner, is just file bankruptcy. And nobody gets paid. So the advice I received from many attorneys on this information is go through the department, your state Department of Labor and Employment. Because then the business owner can't get out of it through bankruptcy. So of course, what do? I call the Department of Labor and Employment to confirm this information. And the agent said, absolutely, that's what you should do. That should be your first course of action. And the reason why is because it's a non-negotiable action. So let me walk you through this. So it's a two-part process. First, it's a demand. So you print and complete the demand, and that's where, using the example of $5,000, if they owe you $5,000, then it was recommended by the person I spoke to, was a Colorado labor and employment agent, and said, absolutely, the first thing you need to do, and this is where you get your action and results, is through the demand. Business owners can't get out of a demand. So that's only one part of it. Remember, you send it certified mail so that there is a signed date and time when it was received, and that starts a ticking time clock. That lasts for about 2 weeks. So the employer has 2 weeks to review your demand and then either negotiate, pay, or not pay. And then there's a nice little caveat in there in the demand. It states that if, after going through investigation, which I'll talk about in a moment, if it is found that the claimant, that would be you, the claimant was correct in the demand and the other claims that go into the investigation, found to be true and correct, then you, as the claimant, will receive 2,000% of the demand, plus $50 per day. And that may not sound like a lot, but let me start on that second portion. So after the demand is sent, you start an investigation. All it is filing a claim. Truthfully, if you're already on your state's Department of Labor and Employment, then you might as well file a claim. And in that claim, the claim does not have anything to do with money. That has to do with violations. It's how were you violated? That could be through harassment, sexual harassment, workplace harassment, any of those. Of course, that's a very long list I'm not going to go into. But if you've been violated, then you file that claim. Now, typical government, they're running behind. According to the Colorado State Labor and Employment Agent, he said, this particular State Department is running about 7 to 9 months behind. So that's where that certified mail comes in, that receipt. So if it's been more than the 2 weeks and the investigation begins and is completed and it's found to be in your favor, then you receive your demand and 2,000% plus the $50 a day. If the employer was found to be willful in their actions of violating you, it's 3,000% and $50 a day. And not one penny came out of your pocket, yet we're looking for resolution. So, I think that sounds like a better course of action than spending a lot of time interviewing and presenting information to attorneys who may or may not accept the case. And then you have a lot of out-of-pocket expenses. So if you go for an attorney and they're not doing it pro bono or on a sliding scale, you really need to think about, is this something I want to pursue? And that's where your friendly State Department of Labor and Employment comes in handy. So what happens in the end? What if the employer says, I'm not doing anything? That's okay. It becomes public knowledge. It can't be erased. So anyone can look up that information, easily available. So there you go. easy way to demand unpaid monies and be righted, you know, to be restored. That's what it's about. So enjoy your day. We are coming off the trail. That's always our view home, going towards the mountains. Enjoy your day, y'all. Don't forget to jump into the pipeline.